So tell me what you think. Uh, um, I, you've been in this situation before, haven't you? Dear fellow citizens of the world, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nick. I'm a career and performance coach, and on this channel, we talk about career, mindset, and personal growth. Today, I want to share with you 5 tips to help you become a better communicator and never feel awkward in a situation like this again. So here's the thing. You can be very good at your job, probably the best at what you do. It could be accounting, engineering, computer science. At some point, you will need to communicate what you do and how you do it to colleagues, your boss, or friends. And maybe that's not your strength. You're very good with numbers, with experiments, with being in front of a computer, but you don't really feel like being the most entertaining or most interesting person in the room. The problem is, if you don't know how to share your ideas effectively, your whole work will just go to waste. So here we go. Let me give you 5 tips to help you communicate better and get the credit you deserve in your job. Number 1, it's never about you. It's about your audience. It's about who's listening to you. So before you say anything, whether it be a presentation, a speech, a conversation, remember you have to think, why is that person listening to me in the first place? Why are they here? And why am I even talking? And most of the time, we want to talk about ourselves rather than thinking, but why is that person listening to me? So you got to remember that there's a reason why people are here. There's a reason why you are talking in the first place. So if you are doing a presentation at work to convey what you know, to convey the progress of what you've been doing, it's not only to boost your ego. The point of what you're talking about is to help people understand what you do and what they can do with this information. Now, when you make that shift in how you think about the purpose of what you're saying, you adopt a new perspective. You look at it from a different angle. And when you understand that it's not about you, it's about other people, you become more interesting and you become more impactful. Number 2, listen. So of course, apart from you giving a presentation or a speech where you're doing most of the talking, any interaction, when there's a conversation, when there's communication between 2 or more people, you need to be the one who listens the most. Now think about the last time when you were talking to somebody and they were doing something else, either checking their phone, or maybe you were talking with them face to face and they were looking over your shoulder, looking for somebody else, maybe more interesting, or just because they were not even listening to what you were saying. How did that make you feel? So you don't want to be that annoying person right there, not listening. You need to listen first, because once you listen first, you can understand what's going on better. You can give better perspective. You can give better answers. So if you want respect and attention, you need to give it first. Because when people feel that you're always the one who listens, who pays attention, who cares, they will give you back this respect, this attention. And everything you will say will be much more impactful because people will be more receptive about what you have to talk about. And the thing about listening carefully and attentively, you pick signals, you pick clues that will help you answer questions better, that will help you structure your ideas better. So once you get people's attention, obviously, whatever you have to talk about is well received and it's much more effective in the communication process. Number 3, which is very important to me and probably the most important thing, everybody has a different way of communicating. If you're not good at communicating, you feel uncomfortable, you don't know how to be charismatic, how to create a presence in the room, it's only natural for you to go online, look around and see people who you feel are good speakers, are effective communicators, and try to mimic what they do. Now, there's a fine line between mimicking and then losing yourself in that person. Mimicking would be applying some techniques that they use, maybe applying some facial expressions, applying some pauses, applying some tempo and pace, but you don't want to be the shadow of them. Because if you do that, now you've lost yourself completely and you will just come across as not being authentic. And the key when you communicate is to be fully authentic. Why? Because if you're not authentic, people will question your authenticity. People will question everything that you have to say. They will question your legitimacy. Is this person really qualified to talk about what they're talking about right now? And they will get skeptical about your intentions. Are you trying to manipulate them? Are you trying to sell them something? Are you trying to convince them of something that you know is not right or not ethical? If you're not authentic, your message gets lost and gets distorted. So you need to be your true self. And I know it's not easy to look at ourselves and figure out, I wish I could speak differently. I wish I could behave differently. I wish I could look like Brad Pitt, but it's not going to happen. So own who you are and emphasize the things that you feel make you yourself. So maybe you have a very monotone voice, right? And this is because you work in front of a computer all day. Well, then play with that and just say it that, I'm not used to communicating a lot with people because my job implies me sitting in front of a computer all day. So that's why I sound monotone. Play with it, experiment. But the thing is, record yourself, see what you don't like about yourself, but embrace the things that actually make you unique. Because when you are fully authentic, people will remember you much better than if you try to copy somebody else or anybody else for that matter. Number 4, this is pretty much homework, daily homework. You need to put yourself in situations when you can practice structuring your ideas. And any daily situations can be an excuse for that. So imagine you're walking on the street, you're seeing something that triggers your attention, that interests you. How would you communicate and share what you just saw to your friend after work? How would you tell the story? What would you say? Would you describe the scene? Would you give your opinion? How would you tell and relate that story? You need to practice daily for small anecdotes and events, because only then you get into the habit of structuring your ideas, of being a bit more convincing, and therefore you become a more effective communicator. Because we walk all day with a lot of thoughts in our mind, and everything seems very clear. The way we think about it, the way we think we are funny, the way we think we are entertaining, and then it's time to talk. And when you talk, suddenly it comes across as just gibberish. Nobody can understand what you're saying, and you're definitely not funny. Why is this happening? Just because you never took those thoughts and practiced them in the real life. And now tip number 5, anytime you talk, anytime you interact with people, anytime you give a presentation, the performance itself is one aspect of the process. But you need to remember that after the performance comes the time for evaluation. An evaluation meaning either you ask people how you did. Maybe one of your colleagues can give you some insights about how you did the presentation. But most importantly, you need to tell yourself that it's time for you to critique yourself. And I don't mean criticizing yourself. I mean critique yourself, meaning objectively look at what can be improved. There's different aspects of evaluation. It could be on the idea itself. It could be on the structure. It could be on the performance that can help you measure how you can do better next time. So if you feel like you talk in circles and you're not adding any value, then maybe it's time to try to synthesize your ideas. Maybe your voice is too low, and it happens to a lot of people when they feel a bit intimidated by presenting their ideas. Then you need to do some exercises about bringing yourself forward with more confidence. All in all, it's all about getting again into the habit of seeing the preparation as one step, the performance as a second step, and finally the evaluation as the last step. When you have those 3 steps in place, then you can just repeat, practice, perform, evaluate. And this is what you do every time, because once you get into the habit of doing this, then the pressure is off. So what are the 3 takeaways from today's video? Number 1, your technical skills make you competent, but communicating those technical skills effectively make you relevant. You need to become a more effective communicator because this is the missing piece to make your career fully successful. Number 2, very important. You need to understand that becoming a better communicator is improving a skill. People were not born being effective communicators. Of course, the environment impacts the way you communicate, but this is what you learn along the way that makes you more confident, more competent, and more effective. And number 3, effective communication comes in all aspects of your life. Your personal life trickles down on your career and vice versa. So by becoming a better communicator in one world, you become a better communicator in the other world. So let me know which one of these 5 tips or more actually resonate with you the most. Which one have you been working on in your life so far? And which one do you think is still lacking for you to be a better communicator? So if you feel like communication is still a huge obstacle to grow in your career, then get in touch with me and we'll see how to make it better and smoother for you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos about career mindset and personal growth. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again in our next video.